All right, part two of chapter 4. I think we're on chapter 3. And again, talking about our role in society and the demographics. A few stats that we want to look at now, kind of have an understanding of where we're headed, but let's look at where we are now. In 99, from 1999 to 2008, we spent we went from spending $1.2 trillion to $2.3 trillion in healthcare expenditures. We can't get rid of all of our healthcare costs. Accidents will happen, and there are certain things that we can't control. However, if we can reduce some lifestyle changes, we can drastically say reduce our costs, and that money can go elsewhere. We spent what's the slide say? Almost $370 billion fighting cardiovascular problems. That's a ton of money. Obesity, 90 some odd $1 billion. And these are things that, again, we can't stamp out all obesity and all heart problems. There's some genetic factors in there, but we can make a dent, and that money can go elsewhere. I'm not the politician to tell you where that money is going to go and where we can reallocate that, but at the same time, maybe we can use that saved money to fund further progress and further research in further education programs about making our society healthier. Not to look good in a bikini, not to be a stud athlete, just to be healthy. And that's what really what we're after here is getting the education programs aimed at making people healthier. One of the other stats was it's about $76 billion we spent in healthcare that were attributed to physical inactivity. So people having all kinds of problems that were linked to physical inactivity, and that's in the high billions. It's the amount that we could save is mind-boggling. What does this mean? As we look at all these stats, the clear point that we're trying to make is we have a job to do. We have a big job to do as educators. We need to come up with programs in our schools that are aiming at letting the kids know what will happen down their life, down the road, if they make poor choices, and how to make better choices now, and how to, understand that making these good choices can be fun and can really help them, athletically, physically, in terms of the appearance, emotionally, of course, all of these different factors. And so our school programs need to set that foundation for a lifetime of physical fitness, proper nutrition, and that will be the start. Daily PE, we need to get back into that. School funds have cut a lot of PE programs, and that's something that we need to look about. How can we get that back into the budget? Where can we have other money to help fund that? Because it is that important. There's all kinds of studies out there that will show that the link between someone who's physically active and how that affects their brain. And we've talked in the other chapters about the mind and body connection in our philosophy. This is linking that right back to it. A strong body will produce a strong mind. It'll make you more alert, focused, and so taking PE out of the curriculum or limiting PE seems almost counterintuitive, but there again, we've made cuts where we felt we had to make cuts. So us as future educators in the health field, we need to figure out how we can change that and get PE back on a daily basis. Using our school's facilities maybe as free spots for adults. Maybe parents of the kids that go to that school can come and use the gym, the weight room, or any other resources that we might have, and have that be like a community health center for the population, or at least have some classes. Maybe you as the physical educator, you link up with your health teacher. Maybe you are the health teacher as well and the PE coach. You have community programs in the evening aimed at the parents. Again, talking about, hey, you know, we need to buy good food and prepare good meals for our children, but it starts at home. It starts with you. You know, all kinds of resources and programs like that. Pardon me, I've got the hiccups. Physical activity. If we look at, we don't need to go over all the benefits of being physically active. Again, there's a long list of them in the book and on the slides. It's fairly redundant. We know that it can, reduce depression. It can reduce body composition. It can, make you stronger, make you, prevent weight gain. All those benefits, and we want to talk about that. But who's really moving? We basically are seeing. I'm reading the stats here. 1 in 4 students did not participate in 60 minutes of activity on any day during the week. So 25% of our youth didn't do anything on any day. That's pretty bad. 25% played video games for 3 to 4 hours. So you can see where their time is going, and that may not be news to you, but that's what we want to avoid. So how do we reach those kids and get them moving and out of that video game world that they're in? Looking at adults, 33% of adults didn't do anything, any kind of physical activity in their leisure time at all. So again, 1/3 of our adults are doing nothing, no kind of activity at all. I don't have a stat for the people that kind of do a little bit here and there, but maybe not enough, but at least some. I don't have that stat, but we know there's a huge portion of our population. I think our population is somewhere in the 300 million mark, 310, somewhere around there. So, 30% of that, a lot of people. So we want to get to those people. We want to make sure that, they got to be moving. We got to be moving and showing them how. Sometimes people don't get moving because they have let themselves get so far out of shape they don't really know how to get started. But there is a way. It's never too late. Never. And in further classes that we'll take or that you'll see, you'll understand that we can still make progress well into our 80s and 90s if that's the case. A lot of people have joined health clubs, and we know that health clubs are great, but at the same time, we basically the rule is, or the thought is, people joining a health club doesn't guarantee that they're going to be healthy. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, of course. So our healthcare memberships, we can look at that, and the book makes a big play about that. But what I would say to that is, yeah, there's an increasing number of people joining the gym, but that doesn't necessarily mean who's going to the gym. Having been a gym director and manager for a number of years, I can tell you we had a membership of several hundred, but we probably only saw maybe 150 or so that came on what I would call a regular basis. If everyone who came or everyone who paid came on the same day, we wouldn't have enough space. And that's kind of the model with a lot of gyms right now. And that's not a knock on the gym by any means. That's not a slam at all on gyms. It's just saying that just because we have people buying gym memberships doesn't mean they're going. It means they're thinking about it, and it means maybe they're ready for change. They need that extra motivation, that extra step that comes from us. We need to be the ones that say, okay, you've taken that first step, let's follow through. And here's how we're going to do it. Even if it's not a personal training where you have to pay me to give you that result, publishing journals or there's all kinds of ways we can put things out there to get the information out to the students, or population, not just students. So understanding demographics and understanding where our population is headed. Back 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, the population was, you know, relatively one-sided, white. Nowadays, it's not that case, and it's heading more and more to different minority groups are now the majority, and so you know they bring with them different genetic problems. You know, certain ethnicities are more predisposed to heart disease or diabetes, things like that. And if that population becomes the prevalent ethnic group in the United States, that's where our resources need to go. And so we have to be adaptable and ready to change as they do. So that's it for chapter 3. I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, chapter 4, I'm not going to do a video for chapter 4. It's kind of the history, going back to the Greek, Roman, Swedish, German models of physical education and how that kind of started in the schools. Good chapter to read. There's a lot of names, a lot of things on there in that book, in the book. I'm not going to go through them on lecture. Read through it. Know the basic theme of where the United States has drawn their influences from, and that'll be all you need to know for that chapter. All right, talk to you later.